Okay, good evening, everybody. First of all, welcome back. My name is Brother Lewis, and I have been making videos concerning corruption within leadership. If you're new to the channel um, and you are looking into learning about red flags or signs or things that you can find that might indicate there's some issues within your leadership positions, your company, your institutions, your um, groups that you might be involved in, or what have you, um, then you might want to pay close attention. And if you do notice these red flags, you might want to go ahead and start asking some questions and see about bringing some things to the light so that if there's anything shady going on, you can kind of catch it in its early stages if it has not grown already out of proportion. I'm a part of an organization called the United House of Prayer for All People. And before we get started, let me say that this video is for educational and informational purposes only. I'm gonna jump right in. I had shared with everyone, I think the last video, an introduction to pull up websites referring to what is known as Robert's Rules of Order. We're going to jump right into the first website, and we're going to go to robertsrules.com, RobertsRules.com, Robert's Rules. Hopefully by this time you were able to familiarize yourself with the site, and it's pretty simple to navigate. Everything is pretty straightforward. At the top, you'll notice Robert's Rules of Order. This is their homepage. If you click on Robert's Rules of Order, you'll see it take you to a orange and yellow page. I'm just using this is just a simple quick tablet, quick book on your laptops or desktops or even your cell phones. But it's just a simple and easy to use website. If you click on that, you'll notice the book come up. And the title of the book, The Rules You Need in a Meeting, made simple and easy. Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised, and this is the fully updated third edition. You see the price on this is $24.98. Those of you who don't have the resources right now to purchase this book, it's as simple to go to your public library and you should be able to find it there to get a chance to look at it. There's also PDFs that you can download offline. That said, if you scroll down, you see the official authority. And I'm just going to read through these. Robert's Rules of Order is America's foremost guide to parliamentary procedure. Parliamentary procedure, this is nothing more than legislative procedure. It's individuals coming together in order to make and create legislation. Okay, it's used by more professional associations, fraternal organizations. You have your fraternal orders, police departments, lodges, even colleges, groups, anybody pretty much that has meetings, and local governments than any other authority. They use this more than any other model. I just clicked on Learn More beside the official authority. And if you click there, under that first heading, that paragraph, you'll see our history, a short look at our past and our future. Henry Martin Robert, Robert, his last name, was an engineering officer in the regular army. Without warning, he was asked to preside over a public meeting being held in a church in his community and realized that he did not know how. He's an army officer. One day he was asked to preside or oversee a meeting, a public meeting for the community to come together. But he realized at that moment he didn't know how to run a meeting. So reading on, he tried anyway, and his embarrassment was supreme, massive. This event, which may seem familiar to many readers, many of you right now might have had times where you attended a meeting and you didn't know what you were doing. And rather than show your embarrassment, you would simply sit there quietly and suffer your way through it. This is common for many, many people, as the number one fear in the world is public speaking. And in meetings, a lot of people are quite shy about raising their hands so that they can speak, because the common belief is that all eyes and ears will be on them. Nobody wants to be embarrassed and say things that they may not know quite what they're talking about, or to be corrected if they happen to be wrong. Listen, being wrong is being wrong. Nobody knows everything, and quite frankly, everybody had to be taught everything. No one just gets it like that. By that, I mean knowledge. A lot of times people see something one time, they get it. Read something one time, they get it. Observe something while listening to something, and they get it. They look at something and they can figure it out. Other people may be auditory. They may need to hear instructions. Some people are visual learners. Others are hands-on. Point being, it's okay being wrong. It's okay to not be sure or certain. It's okay to ask questions to make sure that you're right. That's always the safest way to go. At any rate, this is what this man did in order to kind of stumble his way through. But he discovered and studied the few books at that time that were available on the subject of running a meeting. From time to time, due to his military duties, he was transferred to various parts of the United States, where he found virtual parliamentary anarchy. This is chaos and confusion. Attending meetings, being part of meetings where people didn't know what they were doing, and it would just be a fallout. But it goes on to say he was transferred to various parts of the country where he found virtual legislative anarchy. Since each member from a different part of the country had different ideas of correct procedure. Different people coming from different parts of the country, well, they're going to do things differently because, let's face it, this is a pretty big country. People on the West Coast don't do things the way that people on the East Coast does. People up north don't do things the way that people down south do. People in the Midwest don't do things that people anywhere else in the country. If you live in Arizona, you're going to do a lot of things differently because Arizona gets hot. I believe it's the one geographical location in the country that reaches the highest on their thermostat throughout the summer months. It's nothing for Arizona. I think the hottest might be Phoenix. To hit 105 on a regular basis. So they're not going to be doing things the way you are. You might be working outside in the 80s, 82, 83, 85 degrees. It's hot, but you're not going to be working outside at 105 degrees in Arizona. So they're going to do things a little differently. Individuals coming from different parts of the country had different ideas. So what he ran into was chaos. To bring order out of chaos, he thought to write this book, Robert's Rules of Order. There's several editions because over time it was updated. If you continue to scroll down, the 12th current edition has been brought about through a process of keeping the book up to date with the growth of parliamentary or legislative meeting procedures. All editions of the work issued after the death of the original author have been prepared by people who either knew and worked with the original author, or they're connected to such people in a different continuity of professional association. They wanted to continue to see his work updated, upgraded, modified as they increased learning, as things were changed and became popular. They would modify the book to keep up with the times as well as the changes in procedures with these meetings. You'll see a tab that says View Edition Timeline. That's underneath if you just scroll, and the earliest was 1876. And that was a pocket manual. So if you're in a meeting, you can pull it out and go through it so that you know what to do and not feel like you're embarrassing yourself. The second edition was 1876. Third edition was 1893, so on and so forth. Coming up now to the 12th edition, the third edition in brief, in 2020. At the bottom, it says Q&A forum, and then you see books. But I'm going to scroll back up and click on Robert's Rules of Order all the way at the top. And then I'm going to scroll all the way at the top. I went back to the home page. Then I'm going to scroll down. Okay. The official authority. I'm going to scroll down beneath that. The books, the multiple formats. We're just going to go past this. You can get any book that you want, the various formats. Here to help. If you have questions about Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised, prescribes for a particular situation, first check our frequently asked questions. On this website, there's a spot where you can go, or you can just click there where it says frequently asked questions. You see the underline, just click that and it'll pull up frequently asked questions for you. The most popular and the most common questions are there. If you keep scrolling down, you'll see recent news. Keep scrolling down. You see the stories all the way at the bottom. You see a list of different links. I'm going to click on our history to see what's there. Okay, we just read through that. And resources, FAQs is frequently asked questions, how to adopt. I just clicked on how to adopt. Okay, your screen should look like this. And getting started is easy, and we're here to help. If you scroll down, A Century of Experience. Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised, is the guide preferred by most professional parliamentarians for being fair and complete, and is in use by societies across the world. Behind Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised, there is over a century, 100 years of experience with meetings, so its guidelines anticipate nearly every question that will arise. You see underneath of that, learn how to get started. Okay, put your us right there and put this there and click on that. Learn how to get started. Oh, we'll let it take you down, or you can just scroll down to standard method. To adopt Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised as your organization's parliamentary authority. All it's simply saying is, if you're having a meeting and you hear the term being made, if you hear referral, Robert's Rules of Order, or you can just ask, are we following Robert's Rules of Order? They say yes, you got it from there. All you got to do is go get the book, or you can pull up PDF online. Free PDF of Robert's Rules of Orders. There may be some free. There may not be. I tell people always check with free. Free beats everything else down, hands down. But to adopt Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised as your organization's parliamentary, your meeting's authority, the society should insert the following into its bylaws at the appropriate place. Now, it's saying this clause on the side of that right here, this clause should actually be inserted into the bylaws. It's a suggestion, a very good suggestion, but it's a suggestion nonetheless. It's not mandatory, it's optional. But article number, parliamentary authority. The rules contained in the current edition of Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised, shall govern the society, this meeting and this organization, in all cases to which they are applicable and in which they are not inconsistent with these bylaws and any special rules of order the society may adopt. All it's simply saying is we're going to follow these rules with the exception of any rule in our bylaws that this might contradict. If there's a contradiction, something that comes up in question, and it looks like this presents a problem because of something that's in our bylaws, then we're going to go along with our bylaws. Other than that, we're going to follow Robert's Rules of Orders. Now, I read in one of our General Assembly sessions, I believe, it was part 2020. No, it was 2009. May 22nd, 2009. The paperwork referred to Robert's Rules of Orders, and it did stipulate that we follow that. So that's good that it stipulated that. However, at some point in time in the very near future, this statement slash question slash proposal may come up. And when it does, then you will be familiar with what it is, its purpose, and what the proposal is actually asking for, to have this inserted into our Constitution and bylaws, which makes everything easy because now the members would be learning not only how to conduct a meeting, how to chair a meeting, how to preside over a meeting, how to run a meeting, but more importantly, how to participate in the meeting, how to put a motion on the floor, how to argue a point, how to stop the point being made so that there can be a correction. Anything whatsoever, this book covers it. Looking at this information, again, it might sound boring, but when you get started, you're going to feel empowered because you will then be learning how to do what's necessary to assist in creating or removing laws that's going to govern everyone. That said, under special circumstances, it says convention. At a convention, of an organization whose bylaws do not designate a parliamentary authority, a rule doing so may be adopted together with other specific rules, as in the example below. For adoption, such a rule requires a 2/3 vote. Now you understand why our Constitution has already indicated that in order for amendments to be made, the General Assembly must have a 2/3 vote in order for there to be a quorum. Let me go ahead through this. Adoption by same vote as special rules of order. An organization which has bylaws, we do, that have bylaws that don't designate a parliamentary authority, our bylaws do not designate it. What that means is, inside of our Constitution, there's nothing in here whatsoever that designates a parliamentary authority. There's nothing in here that points a finger at what procedures we will be following in order to conduct our business on hand. Whenever we have a meeting, there's nothing that says the orders that we're going to be following. It's not in here. We have a letter and other literature that does stipulate, it does say, it does address this issue. It tells us in other literature that we do use, we will follow, we will adhere to Robert's Rules of Orders. Now, since it says that, you need to familiarize yourself with that. It is not a lot of work. It's just familiarizing yourself with a few things. Okay, now we're going to go over all of that. We're going to cover it. Even if you are not a member of the General Assembly this year, even if you are not a delegate this year, if you have not been elected to go to the General Assembly, you still need to learn what's in the Robert's Rules of Orders. Why? Because it's been stated, it's in our Are You Aware and the auxiliary bylaws. Excuse me. It's written there that every member should be on an auxiliary. Now, if you're on an auxiliary, then you're going to have meetings. Even if you're not on an auxiliary, you're going to have meetings because you're going to have house meetings. And even though you're not an officer, if you're not on a meeting, you're not an officer of any kind, you're just a brother or your sister, and you're attending services, then the time may come where you will sit in on a house meeting. It's necessary to understand how it's supposed to be run so that you can see whether or not things are being done correctly or whether or not things are being done incorrectly. Many times you're going to find a lot of things being done incorrectly because quite a few times people are ending up hurt by what's going on in these meetings simply because people don't understand what's being said or what the procedures are. With that in mind, let me read down. It says adoption by some vote as special rules of order. We're going to go down past that. You see quotation marks, and the first word says resolved, that the rules contained in the current edition of Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised, shall govern the society in all cases to which they are applicable and in which they are not inconsistent with the bylaws of the society. Again, same thing. it should be in writing. There be no question about anything going forward. Meeting of a group that does not yet have bylaws, okay? Here, we don't have to worry about that because we have bylaws and we have a constitution. A few notes we don't need. It's talking about advice about writing and adopting bylaws for an organization. We don't need that. We're already way, way beyond that. And we're at the bottom of the page again. Incidentally, this is why I prefer standing in these videos. I think I might have mentioned before, sitting on these couches. Anyway, I'm going to close this page out, and I'm going to pull up Robert's Rules.org, like organization, O-R-G, robertsrules.org. The first one was robertsrules.com. Now we're going into robertsrules.org. The first website is an introduction, so to speak. It's going to give you an overview on what this book is, why this book is necessary, and the problems that this book will solve. That's what that first video is about. This one, robertsrules.org. You should see this on your screen. Okay? Robert's Rules, RULES.org. Effective tools, productive meetings. Says simple, intuitive information gets you off the ground fast. Free and low cost. Free resources plus easy tools for better in-person or remote meetings, saving you hours of work and study. Efficient. Put the full power of Robert's Rules to use, helping your organization make decisions. This is a very powerful tool for many people because many times organizations and as well as groups have such a huge problem coming to a conclusion so that they can make decisions. A lot of people do not like making decisions because they feel that the consequences of those decisions might lead to a problem. And if those consequences of those decisions do lead to a problem, many people feel that, well, people are going to be looking at them since they were the one that helped to implement that decision. And we really should be utilizing any tool necessary so that it can help us navigate through these orders. It can be a little bit to remember, but to make it easy, I refer people to YouTube. Watching a video is always easier than reading, and watching other people enact what it is that you're trying to learn also makes it easier to digest. So there's a lot of YouTube videos. I'm going to refer some of those as well. However, let's go ahead through this site. Everyone is on the same page when you use Robert's Rules of Order. Crush your learning curve and hit the ground running with this book, it says. You don't have to learn a whole lot because it's right at your fingertips if you use the resource available to you. You don't have to figure it out. You don't have to wing it. Okay? And even if you don't know, don't worry about it. This is how almost every single member / group / entertainment centers, anywhere, everywhere, especially in the evenings, getting into the nightlife, whether it's sports, whether it's just on strolls, if you are out and about going to work or various events, it would be good to take the opportunity to, on those excursions, I'll call them, it'll be good to take the opportunity to try to implement some of what you learned in this book. Now, you might be saying, well, how am I going to implement it when I'm not in the meeting? Just by engaging. Every meeting is all about nothing more than talking, hearing each other clearly. First, you have to hear in order to understand. Communicating with one another. If while you're out and about, if you put yourself in a position to meet people, complete strangers, you'd be surprised at how effective that is and how it would help shape you when it comes to speaking openly and in public. It will do away with those fears of nobody wants to hear me, or people find me boring. I don't have much to say. You'd be surprised how much you have in common with a lot of people out there. One time when I was a pastor, in order to help our members outreach, because I know that everyone has a fear of rejection, made it easy. Took everybody out to a shopping center. The whole congregation went out to a shopping center on a Saturday. And we took 2 hours at the shopping center. And we broke everybody up into teams of 3. And the teams of 3 had to go out, and all of them had 5 questions apiece. 5 questions. And I think the objective was, yes, it was, the first person within the groups of 3, each one of them, the first one that gets rejected 5 times, that's the end of the project. That group of 3 is finished. And the first group of 3 that's finished, they got, it might have been dinner. The 3 of them, dinner on me, or might have been a cash prize. I can't remember exactly what we did, but I think it was something pretty substantial. Everybody thought, what, really? That'll be easy. To get rejected 5 times? Yes. Now, you have to walk up to complete strangers inside the shopping center, outside the shopping center, parking lot. It doesn't matter. The 3 of you together, you're going to hold each other accountable to the rules. But you have an index card, and you have a few questions that you make up. I started off with a few. Hello, how are you? Simple. Do you mind if I ask you a question? Simple. Do you have a few minutes? We're doing a little project, a little experiment of sorts, and we just need somebody to ask a few questions to, just maybe 3, 4, or 5 minutes of your time. Your rejection is no, I'm not interested. 1. And now you're excited because you just got rejected. And the objective, the goal, is to get rejected 5 times and you win. So everyone was in. It was, everybody was gung-ho. We got out there. I can't remember. I think we had maybe 10, it might have been more than that. A few had to go early. But the point is, no one collected the prize. Nobody collected the prize because no one was rejected 5 times. In fact, It, it was so successful. We found our congregation huddled in small groups around the shopping center talking to people who did not want to leave the conversation. People were saying, this is so much fun. And we didn't tell them. They didn't tell them exactly what the project was until they were done with their questions. If the people wanted to know, then they were free to tell them. That was the deal. You cannot voluntarily tell them that it's a congregation that's out here and we're working on our outreach by developing communication skills. Couldn't tell them that. It's just, do you have a few moments? And start asking your questions. And the one person, when they're done, you can let the person go. But if they're still waiting, then the next person go ahead and chime in. If they're done, then the next person get to the next person. But it worked wonders. I believe about maybe 4 or 5 of the groups, 30, 40 minutes later, was still talking to these complete strangers, laughing, joking. Other groups, we're done, we're joining in with them. And the people begin to ask, well, what congregation are you with and where are you located? This is awesome. I would love to be a part of this. It looks like you guys have fun. The point is that they learned by learning. And when they got out, their fears were easily dismissed because now their fears were turned around. Their fears became the goal. I'm afraid of rejection. Now, in order to win the prize, you need to get rejected. Oh, I'm running into rejection. I'm eager to get rejected. The problem is nobody was rejected 5 times. In fact, I don't think that anyone was rejected more than twice. And that might have been because people were in a hurry. Anyway, getting back to Robert's Rules of Orders. On this page, we see View Meeting Tools. And you see at the top, there's a picture, kind of scrolling through different pictures to show and advertise the various types of meetings that individuals might be involved in. So Robert's Rules of Orders is to put everybody on the same page. Okay, everybody's following the same guidelines. Okay. Robert's Rules of Orders is the standard set of rules first published in 1876 to run orderly meetings with maximum fairness to all members. Now, it's been tried, tested, and proven. Over 100 years, this has been implemented all around the world. Here's the thing. It's a wonderful tool to use because for all of you that's been in the General Assemblies of the House of Prayer, in our meetings, there is no such thing as fairness. Every single year in our General Assemblies, in our meetings, there is no fairness. The ones in the front, they control everything. We have men who are supposed to be there as delegates and representatives of their congregations, and they sit up on the council, the General Council. But that is unlawful. It's illegal. The General Council has nothing whatsoever to do with the General Assembly, so therefore they should not be sitting up in the front where the General Council sits. To further this issue, this problem, there's a time when the General Assembly is supposed to vote, nominate and vote a secretary / chairman of the board called Secretary of the General Assembly. But the people are not allowed to vote. The General Council takes care of that too. So my point is that they've already selected who they're going to use in order to act like they're carrying out what they're supposed to be carrying out, which is this official meeting. Problem is, it has all been a lie. It's all been a scam. It's been the biggest scandal, in my opinion. In fact, I don't know of any organization or institution. I can't think of anything that has been a bigger scandal than this, because the reality is, as I stated in a previous video, this has been going on for over 60 years. While people come from all over the country paying for gas and airline tickets and bus fare and gasoline in their cars for those who drive, traveling for hundreds of miles, hundreds and hundreds, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 states away. Food expense, lodging expense, time away from the job. That's money that you're losing. Time away from the family, right? All of this to be at this mandatory meeting held once a year. And our organization has perfected getting the members in there and getting absolutely nothing done whatsoever by giving them the impression that y'all did it. Y'all did it. Good job. Good job. Team huddle. It is... By using this book, if you go to robertsrules.org, you see reference materials, outlines and charts. It makes it easy to use Robert's Rules the right way. Group workspace, a home base for groups to share calendars, bylaws, agendas, and uploaded documents. Right here on the same site. Motion selectors under Robert's Rules meeting app. Status displays, live minutes, keep users on track. You can utilize a laptop or a mobile device. It says no need to print copies. Everything you need is here in one place. Robert's Rules of Order, robertsrules.org. I just clicked on more tools. This is what comes up. Okay, and you'll see a bunch of links. I'm sorry, this is not links. It says Premium Tools, Productive Meetings. On the left side, Group and Meeting Manager. Public or private groups, editable agendas and bylaws that you can edit, easily create meetings and committees, calendar of meetings. It gives you different tools that you can use in setting up your calendar, your events, anything that is going to involve meeting. The meeting app, members can use Robert's Rules immediately if you download the app to your phone. That way, you can pull it up on the phone and see how to do what you need to do instantaneously. And we're going to go to another website to give you a cheat sheet. Okay, all of these things were given to me. These 3 sites were sent to me by a dear friend. In fact, there was a gentleman that was on one of the videos that we did maybe 2 months ago or so. And we're going to be doing another video together. And we're going to be talking about the upcoming General Assembly, so that you can hear from someone other than myself how you've been tricked, lied to, deceived, bamboozled, conned. Anyway, the members can use Robert's Rules immediately. Select motions with explanations from a menu, how to make a motion. Make, second, and vote on motions all on the app. You can make a motion, you can second a motion, or you can vote on a motion. Automatic real-time minutes, motion status display. Know if a motion is currently in order. You know how they say, I'd like to make a motion. That's what they're talking about. View agenda and attendees. What's the agenda, and who are the ones attending so far? management features for the meeting chair. Again, these are all benefits of using this site. It goes down to talk about using their basic service. Let me go ahead and click on Robert's Rules of Orders. At the top, all the way at the top, you'll see Robert's Rule of Order, charts, groups, meetings, and about. You're going to click on Robert's Rules of Order. You'll see a drop-down menu pop up. And I'm going to click on Introduction. Introduction. There we go. And it has a picture of him. And it has the book. A picture of the book. It says Robert's Rules of Order is a set of rules. Again, goes over a little bit of his history. The second sentence in that first paragraph, in addition to informational resources, robertsrules.org provides software tools to help organize and run meetings and groups. So you'll find software tools on this site for those of you that may be interested in improving how you run your meetings. Our congregations, we have many clubs. In every single club, you have officers, and every single officer, you know you must be subject to your president. Then there's a president of presidents if you're having these meetings. Right now, I know for a fact there's many houses that have not had cabinet meetings for years. There's many houses that did not have house meetings for months at a time. There's many houses where the auxiliaries are not having any meetings at all. So what we're seeing is a slow breakdown, a breaking down within of the structured portion of the organization. By structured, I mean the individuals in positions holding up the pillars, that's holding up the ceiling, that's holding up the building itself, and every single level above it. Those individuals need to know how to run their meetings effectively and efficiently. How to involve all the people in your group. You can read down again. It talks about how its guidelines presents meetings in a fair and unbiased manner. The guidelines are on this page. You scroll down, and this said, okay, let me read through the bullet points. Under guidelines, the fundamental right of deliberative assemblies require all questions to be thoroughly discussed before taking action. Right there, you see that this is a biggie because they don't want you to ask questions at all. They try to control everything. And the reason why is because they don't want nobody talking. They don't want anybody asking questions. They don't want anybody answering questions. They certainly don't want anybody talking about the laws or the procedures or the provisions or the Constitution whatsoever, because they're hiding so much, covering up so much, doing so much behind closed doors that if one person begins to talk about the laws, it'll open up a can of worms. And they don't want you to know. This year is going to be different. We're going to prepare you. We're going to prep you. We're going to teach you. We're going to guide you. We're going to break this thing down so well that your 5-year-old child should be able to run a meeting after this. This is going to be like taking everybody to Sesame Street. This is how important this is, because even our children are on clubs and auxiliaries. And if the children are on clubs and auxiliaries, well, then they need to know how to run a meeting. The House of Prayer has been very, very famous for talking about their young people and their children. The children are the future. The children are the future. They're going to take the mantle and run with it. The problem is, I've come to understand now that their focus is always on the children because it involves the young adults. And the young adults going out into the workforce, they're the next generation bringing in the money. And if we can get them to love this, well, then they're going to carry us through the next generation. While the older generation grows older and they're now leaving the workforce and there's nothing to tap into from them, just like up in Vermont. They tap a tree to get that maple syrup. They try to drain every single member in the House of Prayer. And while that tree is young, they're going to collect sap like crazy. Maple syrup is made from tree sap. Maple tree sap. That if you cut it, you'll see this little liquid, sticky liquid ooze out. That's sap. That's what they use to make syrup with. They'll plug it, hang on that plug, and it has a little drain on it, and it'll just drip sap out. And that's what they collect. They make the syrup. Now, what was my point in bringing that up? When you get old and you no longer have that income coming in, the House of Prayer will plug you and drain and drain and drain and drain every little bit they can get out of you. I was speaking with a young man today, a former pastor, incidentally, and I told him I was going to use this analogy. He said what bothers him so much is that no one gets a break. In the House of Prayer, they will tap you for every single dime they can get. And the indoctrination is so real that people take their money out and just throw it at them. And they're excited, looking for more, throwing it. Give me $1. Give me $1. Give me $5. I remember standing in one of our events, and there's y'all know, Apostle Grinder. It was told to him to do something to get the people riled up. I won't get into the details, the backdoor details. Some of these things are so dirty. But matter of fact, I will. I've always suspected that there was something funny going on with the money. Something funny with the money, y'all. And I suspected that because here's grown men that are like hardcore men. And they're coming at you like, right? You have they're like pit bulls. We have some meek, mildly mannered, and they're the ones that's kind of pushed over and ran over by these men. You got others on the council. Like, there's no care, there's no concern. People were literally surprised when the current leader became bishop because his temperament is just cold. A lot of times around the organization, people said that he was just cold. He wouldn't speak. There was an arrogance about him. You walk by, he'd act like he didn't hear you at all. No reason other than being up on, and not to just target him, because it's like that amongst many of them on the council. And literally, some people get to a point where they don't speak at all. What's the point of speaking to you if you can't pause for 1/8 of a second to say hello? Anyway, these individuals, I suspected something was funny with the money, because I'm looking at these hardcore men. As I came up, 40 plus years, I was in here. I was indoctrinated too. I give my money too and go out ATM. I would run to the store to go to an ATM and withdraw more money and run back sweating to give more money. Give more money. Couldn't give it fast. And we having a throwing contest. Not literally, I'm exaggerating, of course, but it was almost like that. We come in with more. Some people take $100 bills, stick it on their forehead. And if the band was playing, and you just going in, and it's so, and you're just going. The music, it's on a whole nother level. If you didn't have money, at times you would pray, Lord, give me some money. I want to be a part of this. It was confirmed for me that there was a time after service, I told you there's bags of money that these men carry out the house prayer. Anytime the bishop comes, it's just bags of money. He's going out that door. And this is why I've asked before, what is it that the bishop is doing for the organization to earn compensation? Nobody has answered that question yet. No one knows. What responsibilities and obligations are the leaders performing for the members, for the people? What are they doing for anybody? It's a nonprofit organization, 501c3. That means we're supposed to be helping somebody in some type of cause. Nobody's been able to answer this question. Nobody has answered the question, what is it that we do? How do we have a 501c3? Who are we helping? What people are we helping? Comment. Please prove me wrong. So anyway, one night after getting back the bags, y'all notice that the men go out when he go out. And y'all notice a lot of them don't come back in. That's because they make their way. And it was confirmed for me that, now I didn't see this. I was never a part of that inner circle where I'm there for this portion when you're handling the money. But different ones getting the cut. If y'all look at their cars, a lot of them have some very, very, very nice cars. But I don't recall seeing any of them work a job. I know several of them have their own businesses. Several of them have very nice homes. Several of them have more than one home. But when it's time to give, they're telling you, I'm going to start off with $10. But these senior citizens over here, they want them to follow suit while they drawing Social Security. It was confirmed for me that after one of these events, going through the money, counting the money, and several people who don't even know that they're sharing this information, others are sharing with me. Several people have confirmed that they would be in shock and awe at so much money. And certain ones that helped, they got portions. They got a portion of it. Might not have been a great big portion, but a portion nonetheless. And it was a sizable portion. Each time it's not like, the one at the top. The one at the top is not who you think. There's one sitting behind the one at the top, and that's the top. And we talk about D quite often. But my point is that one occasion, there was a few people there, and someone had come in to get his portion. But something happened where there was nothing left. And the story goes that he was told on that evening by Lady D, you go out there and get yours. You know how to get yours. Go get it. The very next night, that's when he started Addie's line. Whose line is it? Whose line is it? Addie's line. Whose line is it? Addie's line. And while he's out there on the floor, he'd bring the microphone around. And while bringing the microphone around, he would interview people. And it would be hyped up. Now, you've been traveling. Oh, yeah, you've been traveling. And I've been seeing you here and there and everywhere. I just have one question to ask. And the band's still going. And while he's talking again, I just have one question to ask. We all want to know, whose line is it? Daddy's line. Whose line is it? Daddy's line. All right. And then go to another one. We was here. What is your name, sweetheart? And how long have you been watching this? Just interviewing. We was like, this man could work a crowd. He blew that thing up. The Love March, what they call when we compensate the leader for his services that nobody has been able to let us know yet, whatever those services are, which we're going to talk about that too later, because that's another practice that's illegal. And we're going to get into that. But he blew this portion of the service up, love gift. I remember seeing at the end of the march, people not wanting to stop. They'd be so hyped. They'd go in the pocket, get more. You come down and you have one, then go back. And so now you go from 2,000 people, you're down to 200 people. Then from there, 50 people, and 50 people going. And they going back in their pocket. They go around, go back in their pocket, 50 people. And then 48 people. And go right back around again. And then 35 people. And the house sitting there, and they getting excited. And they excited. And it's down to 22 people. Going round, drop, go around, get some more, drop, go around, get some more, drop it in the pan, round, get some more, drop it in the pan, round, get some more, drop it in the pan. And it would be so exciting. people in the audience who's not marching, they start giving them money. And they're going around and they getting more, and they go running, they get more, and they keep right on marching. And people be stepping. You are going to have a shouting good time giving your money. And you will want to. I remember I'm sitting here like, I was in the line. I went around over and over until, look, woo, I got to save some. We got to do this again tomorrow night. Every single night he's out in service. I said all that to say this. Whose line is it got started because one night after service, he didn't get his cut. All this is going on while the members are literally being drained. And all this money, for what reason? For what purpose? That came from her telling him, you go get it. Go get yours. So now that those bags, you got more, I wonder how much his cut would be. I'm sure his cut was bigger because he increased that pan by larger volumes. The General Assembly, they have all the authority to go into that meeting and change all of this, to bring it all to a stop. Because that part of the service, just as other parts of the service, the General Assembly, the Board of Directors, they didn't initiate that. Many other portions of the organization was not initiated by the General Assembly. They've orchestrated this thing, and they've taken so many powers from the people and fixed it now so that the only thing that the people of the organization can talk about in our meeting, the board meeting, is the Constitution. Anybody, do me this challenge. Find for me a company or an institution or organization or a group, anywhere, where the board of directors only come in there to talk about nothing but the Constitution. They don't talk about budget. They don't talk about growth. They don't talk about expansions. They don't talk about operations. They don't talk about field committees. They only talk about Constitution. I believe nobody will ever be able to find one. Because the board of directors, they're over everything, including all of the officers and executive officers. They tell them what to do. They're not told what to do. This, I believe, will be the first General Assembly where the people will understand and truly understand that the leaders of the House of Prayer, the bishop, the secretary, who's a general council member, is rigged, and the entire general council will not rule the members anymore. I'm going to come back in the next video, and we're going to go into the third website, and that's going to be your Robert's Rules cheat sheet. And then I'm going to allow you to actually look at some of the YouTube videos that's been put together by people who are simply trying to teach people about Robert's Rules of Orders. So thank you for your time. For those of you who have the time, go ahead and pull it up on YouTube. Go online and do some research on Robert's Rules. Again, familiarize yourself. That way, whenever I do the next video, you will already be accustomed to some of the terminology and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And you will begin to feel empowered because knowledge is power. That's why they don't want you to have it. See you in the next video.